The only problem that I really have right now is the amount of leftovers.
Okay, so Kristine said that her only problem is leftovers. Now, after we got to looking at her grocery bill, we realized her leftovers are the least of her problems. Sorry, she's on here tonight, so I hope you're doing okay.
We hope we can help.
I think we're going to help, though. Okay, here we go. She told us that she spends about $100 a month on her grocery bill. In reality, we discovered that between October 22 and September 23, she will have spent $13,680 on her grocery bill. That's $1,100 a month, not $100 a month. That's a huge difference. Huge. It is. I was actually floored when I realized. Yeah. Okay.
It's kind of hidden though, so we're going to explain that as we go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We are having our Labor Day sale right now. 35% off all our print books and ebooks, and 10% off our printers. In the description below is the link for Labor Day sale. Go get it right now. Okay, back to Kristine.
Whenever I buy bell peppers here at Walmart, this is the only ones I normally buy because of how cheap they are. But right now I'm not buying any because I'm growing them in my garden. So.
Okay, now I will say, good start. I would cut the peppers though, except for what you have in your garden. I wouldn't buy them the rest of the year. 84 cents is really expensive, and I would not buy them the rest of the year. I would just grow them in your garden, freeze them, and then use them for the rest of the year. Okay, let's go to the next part.
I will buy one of these 10-pound bags of potatoes every 2 weeks because we love potatoes in our house, but I'm going to get 200 pounds for $100 here soon at the end of September.
Okay, we're going to talk about the potatoes, but this is a major problem with her grocery bill. So we're going to show this at the end.
And I will also buy one of these bags of onions every 2 weeks because we also use onions a lot.
Okay, I'm glad for the onions. Good deal. Okay with that. Did you confirm? Okay, next, the macaroni and cheese.
I buy mac and cheese every 2 weeks or so. This is what I normally go for because half of the time these are sold out. And my kids really love mac and cheese, and we use it for meals sometimes.
Okay, now macaroni and cheese. That is 98 cents a box cheese plain. So 98 cents is what she's spending. She could be spending between 29 and 49 cents for a box of macaroni, but she's not hitting the Ridley's stock up case sales. So she is paying double what she needs for what she needs on her macaroni. That's super expensive. 98 cents for a box of macaroni is pretty expensive. So I would start stocking up on the case lot sales and saving your money, stocking up when they have the case lot sales at Ridley. She lives in the same state as I do, but she's not saving her money on these types of things so that then she can stock up later. So if she starts focusing on the sales, she'll really be able to start saving more. Okay. And how many people is she feeding? She is feeding a husband, herself, a 9-year-old boy, and a 4-year-old girl. Okay. All right, next.
When I buy mac and cheese every 2 weeks or so, this is what I normally go for, because half of the time these are sold out. And my kids really love mac and cheese, and we use it for meals sometimes.
Okay, so you can see the case lot sale. This was a few weeks
We
ago.
also try to stay stocked up in Spam. Right now it's $2.98 a can because it's on sale. It's normally that price.
Okay, Spam. Her family loves Spam, but she is paying double what she needs to pay. So just a couple minutes ago, Ridley's had their stock up sale, case sale. It was $1.49 for each can of Spam. I stocked up myself. I would not buy Spam, period, unless it was on sale. I know it's a cheap and easy dinner, but I think that was a 12-ounce can. So that is about, let's see, $5 to $6 a pound, give or take, for meat. That's really super expensive. Okay, so let's vote, guys. Let me know. I'm really curious if you guys are a Spam family or you're not a Spam family, because I know Spam is a very controversial food. So type 1 if you love Spam, and type 2 if you think I'm crazy for loving Spam. Mom and I both love Spam. So guys, type those in and vote and let us know what you think on Spam. I have a feeling I know what Mike's vote would be.
This cereal is also an every 2-week buy because my kids love cereal.
Okay, so she's getting cereals for 14 cents an ounce. If she would go and buy her cereal on sale, she would be able to get it for 8 cents an ounce, which is, whoops, I lost the graphic for that. Okay. She would be able to get cereal for about 8 cents an ounce. So she's paying double the amount for cereal than what she should pay. So I would cut buying the cereal at Sam's. It is not a good deal at all. I would not buy it at Sam's. I would not buy it at Walmart. I would only buy it on sale when it is $1.77 or $1.97 box, and leave it at that. Now she's getting the Tyson nuggets here.
The beginning of this month, and it's dropped a little bit. I can get a 5-pound bag at Sam's Club for $13.98 a bag.
Okay, so actually that is a really good deal. She actually got a good deal on getting the Tysons. The Tysons was, let me go back here just a second. It was 17 cents an ounce. If she would have gotten the Walmart brand, she would have been paying 3 cents an ounce more. So she did a great deal getting the chicken nuggets by the name brand. Believe it or not, the name brand can be less expensive a lot of times when they roll back the prices or they have them on sale. Okay, let's see. So here's the prices. You can see $2.85 a pound. That's fairly expensive. $2.79 is what she was paying at Sam's Club. Okay, so here she's talking about how she has ground beef for $3.18 a pound. But because the price has gone from $20 10 pounds to $31 for 10 pounds, she doesn't buy it anymore. Let me see if I can mute. Does that mute the audio on the video?
I don't hear it now.
Okay. So instead, she said she's buying $5.72 a pound in 1 pound chubs when she wants beef. Okay. And so she said that she's not buying hamburger for $3 a pound, and instead she's paying $5, almost $6 a pound instead, because she doesn't have the money to stock up on her hamburger. All right. So the problem is she's wasting a lot of money. Now, if she would have gone to Albertsons, this is the ad for her town. I live in the same state. She's just 2 hours from me. It's the same ad. She could get it for $2.47 a pound, which is just $24 for 10 pounds. Last week, I think this was just last week's ad that she could have got it for if she would have had the cash saved up, but she didn't. Now, here she goes on to say how she normally buys her meat on sale, that she started noticing us showing the clearance items at Walmart, and that she's been shopping the clearance items. I think that's great. I think she's doing a super job doing that. But she said, I wish I had the money to start stocking up. Kristine, today we are going to stop your wishing. We're going to stop your wishing. Here's the thing. You do not have to be wishing anymore, and we're going to solve that problem for you. Okay? All right, let's go back.
Okay.
All right, let's see. So next, she says that occasionally she will buy these chicken quarters for 72 cents a pound. Now, I think that's great. Now, type 1, if you guys have never bought chicken quarters. I was totally shocked when I found out how people did not know what chicken quarters were. So if you have never bought chicken quarters, please type in 1, because I'm really curious to know if you guys know what chicken quarters are. If you know what they are, type 2. Let me know. But I was surprised at how many people don't. Now, this is a great way to save money on chicken. And I will go so far as to say, if she cannot get her hamburger on sale, then she's just not buying hamburger. She's buying those chicken quarters instead, and that's what they're going to be eating. Okay? Now, she's been buying chicken on sale. She said there was none here today, but normally she would find some chicken on clearance at my Walmart. Normally, I get chicken on clearance in the morning is where my Walmart marks it down. So go at different times of day and see if you can find when they mark it down. Now, for cheese.
I do try to have some cheese in the house, but when we can't afford it, I normally skip it. I try to go for the 2-pound bags if possible, but sometimes if I can afford it, I will do a 5-pound bag for that price because my family and I love cheese.
Oh,
So the value pack is more expensive?
see, you're paying attention. Okay, so she normally buys the cheese at Walmart there, but that cheese was let me see, did I have that on my I did not. Okay, so this cheese is actually way more expensive to buy it this way than to buy it on sale. Now, here in Wyoming, just last week,
my family
we had cheese on sale for 12 cents an ounce for 8 ounces. It was 97 cents for this 8 ounces of cheese. You can see it's 23 cents an ounce. If you buy it in the big bags at Walmart, that's what? Double the price. This week, though, take our picture off here, Mike. This week, I just went today and got $4.97 for 2 pounds of cheese. So I went and got 4 bags of it. 2 pounds, $4.97. That's $2.50. That's 15 cents an ounce. So that both of those are really good deals on cheese.
I will also buy one of the.
Okay, so now she's buying Country Crock. She says she buys it for $7.63 about once every 2 or 3. I think she said once a month. Now, what she doesn't know is that is super, super expensive. Okay, did you know that in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, which is on sale right now for 35% off for Labor Day, guys, all of our print books are on sale, including our Get it together, people. Undated planner. I know everybody is getting organized for the school year. Our undated planner, so you can start now and not miss any pages, is 10% off also for our Labor Day sale. Okay, so here's how you make homemade soft butter or margarine. Buy butter or margarine that is already pre-softened. I bet you guys didn't know that. Dining on a Dime cookbook right here. Guys, I'm telling you, we have it all in here. Soft butter or margarine, page 415. Now, if you look on the back of the ingredients here, you will see the first ingredient is water. Why? Because it's mostly water. Now, this is so stinking simple, it's not even funny. It was $1.38, 4 sticks of margarine right there. In our cookbook, soft butter or margarine can be made with milk or the diet kind, which is with water. Now, what I did was I got my water super, super cold, and I'm using the water instead of milk in here. Okay, so my water is super, super cold. So I'm just gonna pour that in. Then here, oh, I hope my butter's, yeah, it should be soft enough. Okay, so now here we go. I'm breaking it up just so that it's easier to start with. If you're concerned with its flatting, there you go. Doesn't matter.
It's just funny that it's hiding.
Shoot. I'm like, what is happening? I used a cup instead of a half a cup. Hold on.
Water?
Yeah. Hold on. Okay, there.
Just put half a cup out.
Yeah, I just poured half a cup out. Okay, now instead of spending $7, can you believe she was spending $7 for that, dear? $7 on soft butter or margarine. She was buying the margarine. You have just spent $1.38 and not even 5 minutes worth of time. So let's say you just saved yourself $5 for 5 minutes worth of work. How much is that an hour, dear, income she just made?
$5 for 5 minutes?
Yep.
$60 an hour.
$60 an hour.
Yep.
Just put it in your container. And if you just want to fake the family out, save the old container.
And then I also buy 60 count.
Okay, so let me say something on here real quick on the butters, or some people say, well, that's not butter. Listen, she bought margarine, so I'm just making what she is normally buying. So if you want to use butter, you can use butter. It makes no difference. So margarine is cheaper though. Now I will say, she said that they make $35,000 a year or $37,000 a year, and they have $35,000 in debt. So nobody needs to be buying butter when that is your income to debt ratio. Okay. You're going to be cutting every single thing that you can. Butter is fine when you can afford it. But at this point in their lives, they cannot afford butter, period. Okay. All right. Next, the eggs.
Eggs. because they're only $7.47 a box, and they used to be $27 a box.
Okay, let's talk about the eggs here. All right, so on the eggs, she could get the eggs for 97 cents a dozen. I just bought them today for $1.47 for 18 this week. Oops, Mike can take us off, and you'll see the ad right here. This is today. I just bought these. $1.47 for 18. Okay.
That was today.
That was today. So she can still go to the store and get some, which she's probably going to have to after I'm done. But we're going to talk more about eggs in just a little bit. So remember these numbers when we come back to eggs. Well, I'll remind you, but we got something to say about eggs a little bit here too.
Also go through a lot of milk in our house. I normally have to buy 3 to 4 gallons, depending on how fast the kids drink it, every 2 weeks.
Okay. 8 gallons a month.
That's a lot of milk.
That is 2 gallons a week for basically what would be the equivalent of 3 people drinking milk. That is ridiculous. That is absolutely ridiculous. Okay. I don't know where the milk's going. I don't know if it's getting thrown away in sippy cups or what, but that is way too much milk for your family to be drinking. We had a family of 6. We were going through a gallon of milk a week for a family of 6, and that was with 4 teenagers. So I wouldn't, well, 3 teenagers, I guess, at that time. 3 teenagers, 2 adults, and a 10-year-old at that time. That is way, way, way too much milk. So you need to cut back on the milk for sure, and you will start saving a lot of money.
Well, and partly because milk isn't just a drink.
Yeah.
It's mainly, I would just use it for
nutrition. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because we use it for cereal, cooking, and making pancakes and stuff like that. So I try to keep 3 to 4 gallons on hand for every 2 weeks. When I buy vegetables, I try to use the frozen ones because they're cheaper. They're 98 cents a pack. And that's normally how I buy my veggies for the most part. I try not to go fresh unless they're on sale.
Hey, I think she's 100% okay. That's great. I think she's doing really good on that.
Well, I'm still walking around Walmart. I am done shopping. I try not to go shopping with my kids because ever since our firstborn was little, I swore that I would never buy my kids everything they need, and well, whatever they want from the store whenever we go, because that was just a waste of money in my head. And having my husband and my first kid shopping with us was probably not a good idea, because whenever my son cried for something, he would literally buy him something to hush him up. And it was horrible. Now I'm trying to break that habit. Sorry. Now I'm trying to break that habit for him. My daughter doesn't have that issue as much as my son, because I've always told her no, and she would cry a little bit, but then she would be over it like within seconds. Well, it's crazy how different they are.
Okay, guys, type 1 if you almost never shop with your family to save money. Oh my goodness. Okay. Now, I will tell you this, if you have kids, do not buy them things when they go to the store. My kids, I shopped with kids for 20 years grocery shopping. Never, ever, ever did I buy them anything at the grocery store just because we were at the grocery store. Did you?
Never.
Never.
Well, partly I worked at a grocery store and I saw people, the kids would learn that if they screamed more, they were going to get it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I guess the biggest issue I have with shopping is half of the time I either make too much food or too little food. And it's getting harder because my family does not eat leftovers except me. Because I learned that, if you have leftover food, you need to eat it. And my husband does not like leftovers over half the time. So I guess I need to find a way. Yeah. I need to find a way to get hardly any leftovers in my house. That is my biggest problem, is leftovers and food wasting, which is what I'm trying not to do right now. So if you can really help me with that issue, that'd be awesome. That'd be lovely. I do look through my pantry, see what I need to really shop for, and if I don't need it, if I don't need what I think I need, then I try to stick to my list as much as possible, what I make at home that we really need, and go from there. So next I will show you my pantry and fridge and freezers. See you soon.
Okay, now, as you guys are watching, keep watching, but her biggest problem is not leftovers.
Well, I would say on the leftovers, I'm sorry, but if I would talk to your husband, I'd say, dude, you have to get it together. Get it together, people. I'm sorry, but you just can't afford to be that picky.
At your income, you cannot afford to be picky, period.
Well, and the reality is I'm not that picky and our income is higher than that.
Yeah.
And our expenses, well, we don't have huge expenses.
Yeah.
Because we've worked it out that way over the years. But I think, first of all, a husband should be able to eat leftovers. Like most husbands are the leftover, like trash can.
Yeah. And at this point, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, and the thing is, if you're going to eat something out of a can, but you won't eat leftovers, that's kind of weird because canned stuff.
Or you'll eat a TV dinner, but you won't eat leftovers.
Yeah, those things are cooked before, and now they're served for you, just warmed up.
Yeah. And somebody posted in here on the milk situation, divide it up with half powdered milk and half regular milk and mix them together and your family won't know. Do not do that. I actually sat and figured, and powdered milk is 4 times. It's $8 a gallon.
Wow.
$8 to $10 a gallon, depending on the powdered milk you buy. Do not follow that advice. That is not money-saving advice. You will spend more now on powdered milk than you will, and that is reconstituted. I went through the reconstituted measurements. You will spend more on powdered milk than you will regular milk.
Was it cheaper in the past?
It was in the past, but it's not now.
Yeah.
It's not now.
So that's old data.
Yeah, that's old. Okay.
Well, we're home now, and I will show you my freezers first. This one is currently empty because we are getting ready to fill it up with this year's hunting meat.
Okay. Now, I will tell you, when she first sent me her stuff and I briefly glanced over it, I was like, man, girlfriend, you're doing really good. I don't know if I'm going to be able to save you any money. I really thought that was my first thought. I thought, wow, you are doing super good. I'm not going to really be able to save you much. You're only spending $100 a month on groceries. Yeah, from what you're showing me, it's kind of looking like it. And then I called her and talked to her, and the truth started coming out.
Well, it's the truth that she just didn't know.
She didn't know how much she was actually spending on her food. And guys, this was shocking. I mean, it was flabbergasting. I was sitting there thinking, oh my goodness, she has no idea how much she's actually spending on groceries. So,
and the reason why is that the part where she thinks I go to the store and this is what I buy at the store, I think that part looks good. Mostly. There are some things like buying, I noticed Kristine buys a lot of value packs, but value packs a lot of times are not a good deal.
Don't save.
So you have to look at the actual price per ounce or per pound or whatever. But the thing is that I think what we noticed is that there are things outside of what you might consider to be a normal grocery budget, and those are still costs of food. So really, it should be part of the grocery budget, right?
Yep. And Protect Family says, I'm so impressed that she hunts for food. Well, I got news for you. All right, let's go through the numbers for this hunting for food. All right, so she sent me the numbers, and for 800 to 1,000 pounds of usable meat, they process it themselves. So that means they butcher it themselves. It costs $244 for the license. I'm assuming that's elk or moose here in Wyoming. That seems awful high for just a deer license. I didn't ask her for qualifications
Well,
on
for
that.
1,000 pounds, it's probably an elk.
But 1,000 pounds has got to be an elk. There's no way that's a deer. Drive is $400. The stay is $450. Now, you would think that would be a really good deal. $1,200 to $1,400 for 1,000 pounds of meat. Okay, that's $1.20 to $1.40 a pound. Okay, so that's great until she told me they put it on their credit card last year.
And as far as I understand, the balance is still on the card, right?
19% interest, and they are barely making the minimum payments. Okay, so let's look at this here. That means she would be paying $11,000 in interest for paying for 46 years for 1 year's worth of meat. 1 year's worth of meat.
So what's hard saying is if they leave that balance on the credit card and just pay the minimum payments,
Yeah.
it's going to take that long.
So that would be $15 a pound instead of $1.40 a pound. That is absolutely crazy expensive. So if she would have taken that $1,400, divided it by $3 a pound for meat, you can easily find pork, hamburger, roasts, chicken. You can easily find meat. $3 a pound is on the high end. That is 466 pounds of meat. That means that if you ate 1.5 pounds of meat per day, that would be 311 days worth of meat, which is about the same amount that they eat with their elk. They're getting ready to go hunting next month, she said, and they're basically out of their meat. So that's about the same amount. So they are investing, in air quotes, $1,400 to save on hunting. In reality, she just spent $12,000 on last year's meat if they don't pay that off.
Well, and like on the meat, if you spend $1,400 and you get 800 and some pounds of meat, that's not a bad deal if that's all the cost.
If
right?
you're paying cash. But even at that, I talked to some hunters that I know personally here, because I was like, okay, are these numbers right? Because I'm freaking out here thinking, oh my word, $400 for gas, $450 for lodging. And he's like, no way. He said he should be going hunting with other guys. So you're splitting the gas and sleeping in a tent and camping. Okay, I really think that those hunting costs are really super high. Okay, go back. And honestly, Kristine, I honestly don't think that you can come back to me. I honestly don't think your husband is going to listen. But you guys cannot afford to be going hunting, period. Period. You have no emergency fund. You're putting everything on your credit cards. You are paying 19% interest and you're barely making the minimum payments. I wanted to cry for you.
Well, it's the credit card thing that's the killer.
I'm like, I feel so bad for you. I mean, sorry, I'm trying to keep it together here. I feel so bad for you. You must feel like you're drowning. You have got to be feeling like you're drowning. Your husband cannot go hunting. He cannot afford to go hunting, period. That $1,400 that you have saved for this year's hunting trips needs to be saved. And then just buy your meat on sale. You will have $300 to $400, say $400 to use on buying stock up meat as it goes for sale to fill up that empty freezer. and then take that other $1,000 and put it in your emergency fund so that you are not putting all of these emergencies that keep coming up on your credit cards. You can't keep doing this. You guys are just going to drown.
Well, the other thing is that the $1,400, if that was on a credit card and it hasn't been paid for a year, there's actually $300 interest on that in the 1 year. So that $1,400 is $1,700. And if the credit card,
But just 1 year's worth of meat, if they can't pay off their credit cards, is $11,000.
yeah. Well, that's the thing is the credit card is really a killer. I think if it was cash, it would be better. But still, as I looked at it, I thought this looks more like a hobby than a grocery budget.
It is.
And I know,
Sorry.
like we live in Wyoming. I know lots of guys, it's a guy thing. Guys want to go hunt. But if your income isn't as high as your spending, then things have to go and hobby related things should go. And even though it's cool that people know how to hunt and they could do it in an emergency, it's not something that you really need if it's going to cost you so much that you're going under in your budget.
If you're spending $1,400 a month on your hobby, I don't care if it brings home food. If you're spending $1,400 a month on your hobby and you're having to put dental bills and house repairs on credit cards a year.
Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. But you're having to put dental bills and house repairs on the credit card. You cannot afford your hobby, period. Period. You cannot afford it. Now, he may or may not listen to us. I totally get that. Now, I don't know how your husband will take that. But the fact of the matter is, he cannot afford to do this. And so, you just can't. You just cannot afford to do this. All right, let's go to the next. All right, guys, we are having our Labor Day sale right now, 35% off. All of our print books, 35% off, guys. And
This is our second freezer.
we have our
And this is
undated planners, 10% off right now to get the school year started for you. Okay, let's go back to her freezers.
She said that was the second freezer.
So let's go back here because I messed up again. Okay. Whoop, doop, doop, doop. Okay.
And this is where we have this year's food. We have bread, chicken nuggets, butter, homemade sausages that we just finished making from some of the last year's deer and elk meat. We have some chicken here. This is cut up pork butt that we use in our sausage for our wild game to give it a little more fat and flavor. This is just scraps of meat that we can't eat, won't use. So that's dog food. This is my homemade chicken broth. It was my first time making it. Got quite a bit out of that. And got your corn dogs for the kids. And this is where I keep the veggies and my butternut squash that I'm not sure what I'm doing with right now. It's just been something to feed my chickens to keep them cool during summer. And more wild game meat and some cold snacks for the kids.
I saw those popsicles in the refrigerator, and here's a little tip. Okay, went to Walmart yesterday. The first day of school, they marked down all of their school supplies and their summer stuff. Summer's over as soon as school starts. $1 for all of these. Go stock up for the year. Get whatever you can and ration them out. My kids get one a day. If it's a really, really super hot day and they're outside playing a lot or something, I'll let them have two. Usually it's just one a day. But that's how I forge little treats like this. And there's 36. I don't know. What's 36 divided by $1, dear? That would be like
It's $1 for 36 of them?
Yeah. So like
3
2
cents.
cents, 3 cents each, 2 to 3 cents each. 3 cents each.
Yeah, it's less than 3 cents.
2.5 cents each. So that's a pretty good. I'll let them have a 2.5 cent treat.
That's because
once a day.
we're not poor anymore.
So that's a way to save on the popsicles.
And if you don't put them in the freezer, like if you buy bunches of extras, you can just keep them anywhere because they'll store, not frozen, right?
Yeah, I store them actually on top of my freezer in a basket and then just put one in as we use the other ones. Make sure it's a plastic basket or container though in case one breaks. Ask me how I know.
Along with some hot dogs and apple juice. And then over here is my freezer that has fish that we got from one of our friends that traveled from California to hunt with us. He's been bringing us fish every year to have. So it's mostly cod right here. And then bananas that I need to use in banana bread. Strawberries for strawberry jam from my garden. I got frozen pizzas for my kids. Homemade bread. This is my seed collection for my garden. And then homemade jerky and bones for my dogs. And then I have my condiments, jams, jellies, a little bit of alcohol. This is my milk.
Okay, guys, did you know that you can freeze your milk? Yes, you can. It is on sale for 97 cents a gallon all the time here in Wyoming. Like literally every week, not every week, every 2 to 3 weeks, it is on sale for 97 cents for these half gallons. Now, you can freeze them. And yes, for those of you asking, if you freeze seeds, I'm a big gardener for those of you wondering. So if you freeze seeds, it helps them to stay fresh longer. But freeze your milk, defrost it, and if it separates, just shake it up really good. It's not bad if it separates. It just, the homogenization, however you say that, doesn't stay sometimes. And so you just have to shake it up to get the cream back in, mixed in. So don't freak out about that. But keep it in your freezer and you can save a lot of money. Right there, she could save, if she cut her milk by 4 gallons, she could save 4 times 4 is 16. She could save almost $200 a year just by freezing her milk and not buying so much.
There's buttermilk back there that kind of separated.
Dining on a Dime, Volume 1, right here, page 389, the recipe for buttermilk. I also have the link in the description below for how to make homemade buttermilk. You do not have to buy buttermilk. If you have a half a cup of buttermilk, which this is 1 cup, so I only need half of this, you just need to take regular milk. Now this is full fat regular milk, okay? It was in the freezer, I just defrosted it, okay? I don't even dirty a bowl to do this. Then take your whole fat milk, your buttermilk, okay, just half of that. Then just stir it around like so. Let it sit on the counter. I love these plastic canning jar lids. I put a link in the description below. Let it sit for 24 hours and it will turn into buttermilk. By making your own homemade, it is $1, well, not even $1, about 50 to 75 cents, depending on how much your milk is. Compared to, for this same amount, is $2.50 to $3 at the store. And that's all you have to do.
Did you have to shake that before you put it in?
You don't have to shake it, but I do shake it. I don't know why. I think it's just habit. But look at cultured buttermilk. Do you know what that means? This means they did not actually churn the whipping cream to make buttermilk. What they did was, this is the same as making yogurt. The yogurt cultures, which is bacteria, which is in here, is what creates the acidicness of the buttermilk. And so all you're doing is culturing your own instead of having someone do it for you.
So the process you use is the same process they use?
Same exact process. This is all they do. They just put it in a warm place and make buttermilk. Yeah, out of regular milk. Okay, so this is 24 hours later. You can see it is nice and thick. Now, sometimes it does separate. Don't freak out. Just stir it up. This is basically the beginnings of yogurt is what it is. But now you've got your buttermilk. Just store this in the fridge. Save a half a cup. So like when your jar gets down to about here, yes, that's white paint. When your jar gets down to about here, just add your milk to the jar, unless you want a fresh jar and clean a jar, but add this much milk, this much buttermilk, set it out for another 24 hours, and you're good to go.
Some more jam, leftovers. That's gonna go in dinner tonight. A bunch of eggs. We go through eggs like crazy here. That's mostly why we got chickens, because of how much the eggs used to be. It was worth it in our heads.
Okay, guys, stop the presses. She said it's worth it. I need you to. She said it's worth it in our heads. Now, let me go back to my graphic that I just missed here. Just a second, guys. Sorry about that.
She talked about chickens.
So she was talking about how she had her chickens and how it's worth it in their heads, she thought. Okay, so let's go through this graphic here for everyone who thinks that it is worth it to have chickens to save money. Let's discuss this, shall we? $30 is what she paid for 6 chickens. She spends $40 a month to feed her chickens all year long. Her chickens will live about 2 years. She only gets eggs from March through October. For those of you who don't raise chickens and didn't know this, chickens do not lay eggs in the winter. They only lay eggs during the long season, sunny days during the summer and spring and a little bit in the fall. She expects to get 112 to 150 eggs per chicken per year. She spends $480 on feed per year at a cost of $7 per chicken per month. To get 112, we're going to go on the low end, 112 eggs for the chickens, which is 75 cents an egg. If she would buy these eggs on sale for 97 cents a dozen, which they go on sale about every 2 to 3 weeks here, they would be 8 cents each. She spends $960 to feed her chickens for 2 years for 1,344 eggs. If she said she will butcher the chickens and eat them, she will save $60 by butchering chickens and eating them. That is 66 cents an egg that it costs her to raise her eggs. So at $40 a month, she could buy 40 dozen eggs per month. 5,760 eggs for the price of homegrown eggs. 900 homegrown eggs.
Wow.
So she is
That was
paying,
a shock, really.
She is paying at least 5 times the amount for raising her own eggs, thinking she's saving money, versus just buying them at the store. Guys, our Labor Day sale is on right now, 35% off our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. The link is in the description below. All these tips that we're giving here are in our cookbooks to help you save money and get out of debt. Now, I have talked to Kristine personally. She is a very lovely lady. I can't wait to actually meet her in person. I had actually thought about going down to Casper to meet her in person, but her grocery audit was so fascinating. I was just super excited to get started. And I didn't want her wasting any more money than she needed to already, really. Now, on these chickens, listen, I'm sorry, but finish up the feed you have right now. I would finish up the feed that you have currently. And those chickens are next month's dinners. Well, sorry, they need to be butchered and gone. Stop wasting your time and energy. Now, we sat and figured her time, which I didn't put the chart in here. With her time also, she would be spending $40 a dozen eggs for the time and the coop and all that stuff.
And a lot of people say, don't consider my time because I just have my time. But the reality is, if you're tired from doing too many things, this is a thing that if you weren't doing it, you would be able to do something else
to save money.
Rest.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I noticed in the comments a number of people saying, well, it's not about saving money with raising eggs, it's about self-sufficiency and all that. That's okay if you have a ton of money.
She doesn't.
But most people that I know that raise chickens
Yeah.
don't have a ton of money. They say we're doing it to save money. But then if you say, wow, it costs a ton of money to have them, people say, well, I know, but I'm saving money. I'm being self-sufficient. Well, self-sufficient is good. It's good to know how to do that. But you're paying a premium for an education if you do that, which instead of saving money when you have chickens to learn to be self-sufficient, it's like paying for college.
Mm-hmm.
You're paying money that you're not getting back in order to learn.
Yeah.
And it's fine to have that skill in case there's a disaster in the world. But the reality is, if your income is not very high, you can't afford to do it. And I think that what Kristine said back there, I think she said, we thought it was a good idea in our minds. And I think what she was saying is, well, people say you save money by having your own eggs. You save money by hunting. You save money by doing these things. But what they say is not necessarily what's true.
And I confirmed, my neighbor right here behind us, she has chickens. She said, yes, that is the amount she spends. I've heard a couple of other YouTubers say, yes, that is the amount they spend. But I will say, I was talking to one of our viewers, Tana, and she said, there's no way I would spend that much money on my eggs. Now, she said that they use a barley feed. I haven't had chickens since I was 10 years old. So I don't even know I don't know a lot about it. I mean, I know a little bit, but not a lot. So I don't know what she's feeding barley feed. She said that it's practically free. I don't know what that is. Maybe Google that. And that if you can get where your eggs are 97 cents a dozen or less, okay, that's fine. Go ahead and keep the chickens. I'm okay with that. But don't think you're saving money when in reality, you're just not. You're spending way more money than you're spending. So my advice, finish out the rest of the chicken feed, butcher those chickens, and be done with it.
And what I would say is, I think it's a good idea to think, what can we do to save some money? But I think the mistake is in hearing people say you can save money by doing the work yourself with the chickens, and then just going with that. I think that it's really important to actually put pen to paper and do the math, kind of like the way that Tara was showing in that graphic, because there are a lot of things that people say save money that don't. Like, we had a friend who was wanting us to go help process meat for a few days in order to save money on getting a whole cow. And we realized that when they did 3 days worth of work, they still paid $5 a pound. But
I don't pay
you have
that
to
much
consider your 3 days worth of work. You could be having fun, just hanging out, doing something fun instead of paying that. You could be working and making money. So you're not really paying $5 a pound if you spend 3 days processing. And in this case, I think the thing with the chickens is you just have to realize, oh, that wasn't really saving money. And it's fine that if you made a mistake, but that's where it's good to say, okay, so now maybe I need to count more on the other things.
So if she can find cheaper alternatives to raising the chickens, I'm okay with that. If she can get it down to 99 cents or less a dozen, I'm okay with that. But if she can't, then those chickens need to be butchered out of there and get the stress out of your life.
Well, and really, for people that do chickens, that's not an unusual price, right?
No,
so it's
not from what I've heard.
Yeah, it's not like you're doing something unusual for chickens.
Yeah.
But I was wondering, you said you eat a whole lot of eggs, but I was thinking about the meat. Didn't the meat work out to 3 pounds a day or something?
Yeah, well, we sat and figured by the meat that she buys at the store and the meat that they hunt and the chickens, they're eating 3 to 4 pounds of meat for husband, wife, 9-year-old, and 4-year-old. That is a lot of meat.
Plus,
that's a lot of
meat.
Too. Yeah. And milk and cheese and all that stuff. So
you could probably save by just because you don't really need that much.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Laying eggs, we're gonna use the chickens for meat anyway. That's where I keep my cheese. That's where my bell peppers for my garden go currently, and onions. These are Lunchables for my kids for school.
This has got to be one of the biggest ripoffs ever invented for parents and working parents. I am sorry, guys. You are just flat out wasting your money when you buy Lunchables. Let me show you. Okay, so I went against every tightwad grain in my body, gene in my body, and I bought these Lunchables. So let's see what's in here.
Oh, there's 2 cookies.
2 cookies.
Oh my.
Oh my. Okay. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 crackers. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 pieces of meat and 6 pieces of cheese. Now, this is the equivalent of 1 slice of cheese. Should we look? Now, I accidentally...
That's the fancy cheese.
Well, it is, because we had American cheese when I bought this, and when I got home, the American cheese was gone. So Jack had eaten it, and I didn't know it. So I got this for something else. But, okay, so let's see.
Oh
This
my.
is not even, it's not even 1 slice of cheese. Oh my goodness, it's not even 1 slice of cheese. Okay, so look at that. Oh my goodness. Okay, so here's the turkey. So, now I did turkey instead of ham, but you get the point. Okay, so let's see. So this is about the same thickness. See, that's about the same thickness.
Wait, sorry, I didn't
2
get that.
slices.
2
2 slices is about the same thickness. Okay, so there's 1, 2. Okay, so this is about, because there's extra.
2
so
slices of
That's
turkey.
about 2 slices. Okay.
Or if you got a thick sliced, it would
Yeah.
be 1 slice.
Okay, and then we've got 6 crackers, and these are the buttery rounds from Walmart. I bought a package, and I think I left it at the store. That's not Frugal, but that's what I did.
Buttery rounds
Okay.
are the Ritz alternative.
Ritz alternative. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so let's see. Are these crackers the same? Ooh.
Their crackers are flatter.
Their crackers aren't the same. Okay, so make it easy, even. There's only 4 crackers. And then 2 cookies. Are their cookies the same? Ooh, the real off-brand
That great value twist and shout brand.
are very slightly, but they are very slightly thicker. But look,
15% larger.
but look at this. It's the same pattern on the top. So it's the same company, makes the same cookies. Let's see. Oh,
These have less
these
cream.
have less cream.
Your poor kids are getting gypped by the cream in their Lunchables.
Oh, man, look at that. Look at that difference. It's also not as round as not as big of a cookie either. Well, just a
Wow.
little bit. Just, you can barely see the edge, but just the edging. Oh, oh my goodness. Okay, so what is the cost on this? Let me tell you. Okay, so I sat and figured up, and it was $12.75 for these ingredients. I did American cheese, not cheddar. I thought I had American, but anyway.
Because American's cheaper.
Yeah, American cheese. I know, processed cheese slice. You can see this is a processed cheese slice. This is not cheddar cheese, so don't be giving me no lip. Okay, so $12.75 will make 32 Lunchables with leftover crackers and cookies. So I estimated about $11 for the leftover cookies and crackers that you'll use for the next month. 1 month's worth of Lunchables for about $11. Each Lunchable right here is $1.82. That means for the price of 32 homemade, you only get 7.
Wow.
Okay. Okay. So 20 minus 7, because that's for a month. That's 13. So $1.82 times 13, you would be saving $23 a month. That's almost $200 per year, per school year, that you're wasting on Lunchables.
For how many a month is that?
For 20 lunches a month. So Dave, my 20-year-old, is in the background, and he said, "Mom, I cannot believe you just spent money on a Lunchable." I know. Now, I would buy them when they were like 75 or $1 for a treat for the first and last day of school. That's the only time. I say I never buy them, but that's the only time I would buy them for my kids was for a special treat for the first or last day of school.
And not because they taste better, but just because they psychologically think they're better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, guys, our Labor Day sales right now, 35% off our Dining on a Dime cookbooks. All of these tips are in there. You can grab it in the description below.
And then just
Okay.
pickled eggs and pickles and more leftovers. Those are my fridge and freezers. This is currently our second fridge. It is a soda machine. My husband works for Pepsi, and they no longer are working with these type of machines anymore. So we got it, and it's our current fridge / meat locker for hunting. Right now it's got stuff in it. This is not takeout. I will let you know that right now. That's not takeout. One of our family friends makes a lot of food, and she loves sending it home with my father-in-law. And that's what all of this is. This is all the food she makes. And this is potatoes. This is how I'm currently keeping them. These are what I grew in my garden that I'm trying to go through before my 200 pounds of potatoes I paid $100 for get here at the end of September. So I'm trying not to buy as much potatoes as possible.
Okay. We got to talk about the potatoes. Potatoes.
Well, first of all, I would say when people make stuff and they give it to you for free.
Take it. Take it all. I do take all the freebies. Okay, now, first of all, on the lunches, if she would make peanut butter and jelly sandwiches, it would be 25 cents or 22 cents for a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. Lunchables are $1.86 right now at Walmart.
I was shocked that the Lunchables had one piece of meat, one piece of cheese, and 4 crackers. I mean, when they cut it all up, it looks like more.
I know.
But it was shocking. And the Walmart off-brand cookies.
Yeah.
Like the Lunchables had cookies that had the same printing as the Walmart ones, but only half as much cream.
I know. And the Uncrustables, I mean, guys, those are such a waste of money. They are just a flat out waste of money. Okay. Potatoes. She is paying $200. No, she's paying $100 for 200 pounds of potatoes that are coming in the next couple of weeks. Unfortunately, when I called her, I said, "Did you already pay for them?" She said, "Yes." I'm like, no. Okay. That is not a good deal at all. So she is investing $100 in 200 pounds of potatoes, which is 50 cents a pound. They are 56 cents a pound at Walmart regularly. Last week, they had potatoes for 30 cents a pound on sale at Walmart. And if you wait until Thanksgiving and Easter, you can get them for 10 cents a pound.
Wow.
So next year, after you're through with these potatoes, please wait and just buy 6 months at a time at Thanksgiving and Easter and get them for 10 cents a pound instead. Then you're not investing a whole bunch of money in food. Now, here's the other thing. Where you are storing your potatoes is a really bad place, really bad place. The heat from the cooler rises and makes them rot quicker, and they are exposed to light, so they turn green quicker. So find a spot, maybe in the corner, you'll see in just a minute where she has her pantry area sort of set up. Find a corner, maybe under your buckets or something like that, that you can have them in a cooler, dry place, not with the heat from the cooler on top.
So then they'll last between the sales.
They'll last longer. Yeah.
So curious on the Lunchables, when you did the homemade version, how much would it cost for one instead of the $1 or whatever it was at the store?
It was, well, let's see. I can't remember. Let's see. Hold on. I paid $12.
For the same price. How much was the store?
So it was about $11 because you had leftover food for 32 of them, 34 cents instead of $1.86.
Wow.
For homemade.
Wow.
Yeah.
The main thing is they make it so you can't put it back in the package and fool the kids.
Yeah. I know. It's pretty
right.
sad. Okay. Okay, so here I'm showing 56 cents a pound at Walmart. Here it's on sale. That was 2 weeks ago for 30 cents a pound.
Food from my garden
right
that I'm going to turn into jam and pickles. Some of our eggs from the chickens this year. Okay. Down here in this white bucket is full of whole wheat. And then we have popcorn. Back up, Ellie. She's trying to help me today. These 2 buckets have flour. Yes, they are not food grade buckets because my husband picked them out for me. These are flour. This has flour also. And then we have sugar, and another sugar. I try to keep 3 buckets of flour, 3 buckets of sugar because we use a lot of it. This is what has dried beans in it that I just figured out how to cook. This has cooked rice that you have to cook on the stovetop. And then this up here has my minute rice. I keep both of them on hand just in case if I run out of one, I still have rice from the other. This is what's left of my mac and cheese. Some popcorn. This is my cooking oil that I learned from a chef how to clean and reuse up to 3 times. So I haven't had to buy oil in over a year due to that method.
Okay, now I will tell you, I do this all the time. Now I store mine in the refrigerator, but this is perfectly fine. All I do is just strain out the bits on the bottom and just store it in a mason jar in the fridge. And I use mine, oh my goodness, I'll use it 5 or 6 times. I don't do a lot of dirty frying. You know, some frying stuff is worse than others, but this is a great way to save money on oil, and everybody should be reusing your oil.
Yeah.
And then we have Quick Oats. This is Gatorade drink mix that I use for my son's school.
Okay, guys, I gotta stop her here. You do not have to buy Gatorade. You can get electrolytes, the little drops, and it is probably, I don't know, it's probably like 2 to 3 cents a serving instead of 25 to 50 cents to $1 a serving. Now, she did get the powder, so that's much better than buying the bottles of Gatorade, so I will give her credit for that. But I would just get a packet of Kool-Aid and make your own homemade Gatorade with electrolytes, and it would be a lot cheaper.
Brown sugar. This is the cereal for my kids for in the mornings. And then I have my homemade zucchini relish, zucchini salsa, and pickles. I have my pickles, my jalapeno cowboy candy.
Okay, so when she said cowboy candy, I was like, what in the world is cowboy candy? I had never heard of that. I love weird and crazy old recipes. I like all of them. I like trying different recipes. So I looked it up, and apparently it's candied jalapenos. Have you ever heard of this? If you have heard of this, type 1 in the comments, please, because I have never heard of this. So we're giving it a try right now to see what these taste like. All right, so here is the peppers that I have, the hot peppers from my garden. Now, I use gloves for peppers. Why? Because it is allergy season. I am always rubbing my eyes. I do not want to rub my eyes accidentally. Okay, now the recipe calls for 1 pound of peppers. I don't have 1 pound, so what I'm going to do is just weigh however many I have. Okay, guys, comment if you happen to know what kind of peppers this one is. It's a hot pepper, but I got some pepper plants that were free that did not have labels. Yeah, I like to live on the edge. Don't I dare. Oops, that's not a hot pepper. Well, we'll eat it now for a snack.
What was it?
I don't know. If you guys know what these little ones are, they're sweet. They're not big. They only get just a little bit bigger, but they're tasty. All right, so there's nowhere near a pound here, so we're gonna weigh this and see. Now, oops, those are all not sweet. Okay, so you guys want to see my garden harvest real quick? Look at all my cherry tomatoes. Oh my goodness, I am picking a ½ a gallon of tomatoes every day now. Oh, there's some more hot ones. Ooh, I missed those. Oh, here's another one. Those aren't hot. Oh, here's another one. Dear, you're just helping me along here. Thank you.
Is this a baby bell?
That's a baby. No, that's what this
That's kind of cool looking.
Isn't that cute?
Yeah.
Okay.
That one looks just like a bell pepper, but it's tiny.
Okay, what's the hotness level we want to try, dear? Because here's how you make peppers not so hot. What you do is you take out the centers. So, I don't know. We're maybe not super hot, so I guess we'll take out the centers. What do you think, dear?
Sure, let's try it. Let's start with not super hot.
Let's not live on the edge today.
No. We could probably handle it, but
Yeah.
let's start with the easy.
Okay, we'll start with that. Okay, so I'm cutting all of the seeds out just like so. These yellow ones, they don't really have, well, yeah, I guess they do have seeds that are, okay. All right, so now let's weigh and see how many peppers we have. Now, guys, look at this non-slip cutting board. I absolutely love it. I put the link in the description below for you. It is wonderful. Okay, the digital scale is also in the description below. That is not a hot pepper. Okay, so here we go. Here, you want me to turn it this way, dear? Is that better? Okay, so what do we got here? We have
1 pound, 7.3 ounces. Is that what that says?
Oh, I forgot to tear it. Hold up. There's no way that's a pound. Okay, so see, you tear it so that you're getting the right measurements. Okay. 3 ounces. So how much is 3 ounces for a pound? That would be like almost 4 ounces. So that's a quarter of a pound. Okay, so then you cut these up into
Wait, a quarter of a pound? I thought, oh yeah.
16 ounces is a pound.
Yeah.
Hell, you doubted me.
I did.
You doubted me. You doubted me.
Yep.
Oh my goodness. Do you guys see what just happened? Does anyone have a husband who doubts them? Please comment. Let me know. Okay. So we're going to get this all cut up.
It goes both ways.
So we got our peppers. Apple cider. So 1/4 of a cup is a quarter of a cup. Not brilliant of me. Okay, and then 1/4 of 1.5 cups of sugar would be, what would be 1/4 of 1.5, like a third or so. So this is a 1/2 cup measure. There we go. Now, and for those of you guys wondering, this pot is going to be in the description below. This is Mom's favorite little pot to cook with. See, it has the strainer right there, and you just put it on, and well, she loved it so much I had to try it. So I got it, and I absolutely love it. Okay, and then salt. All right, a little bit of salt. 1 teaspoon of salt, so I'm using a 1/4 teaspoon of salt. All right, so now we're gonna let this cook down. Bring it to a boil, cook down until the sugar dissolves. So if you guys want the original recipe, it's 1 pound jalapenos, 1 cup of apple cider vinegar, 1.5 cups of sugar, 1 teaspoon of pickling spice, and 1 teaspoon of salt. Okay, while we're waiting for the jalapenos to cook, look, I'm getting my outside flowers ready. Everybody's asked about my garden and how it's doing. This is the view from my new window. Give me a thumbs up if you guys love the new window. Do we love the new window, dear?
I absolutely love it.
Okay, I have to tell you, the new window was way worth the pain in the butt factor. Would you agree, dear?
I'll let you know in 2 years when I've mentally recovered from that project.
Okay, I totally.
But I love it.
Yes. All right, I think the jalapenos are done. Let's go check them out.
I love the window. My nurse just has to come clean the drool off my face when she brings me a new straw.
Okay, I don't know. That's looking. I don't know. Do those look cooked enough?
Well, I don't know what it's supposed to look
I
like.
don't either. I've never made
Well,
this
they're
before.
kind of soft, so I would assume that would be cooked. What do the instructions say?
Till they're soft.
We don't need no stinking instructions. That's probably soft. I would say that's soft enough.
Soft and translucent. And it's kind of looking soft and translucent.
Soft. I don't know about translucent.
I can't believe we
It's
live in
probably fine.
Wyoming and I've never heard of cowboy candy. Wow.
We'll have to ask all of our cowboy friends.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to be out on the ranch next week, aren't we?
All right, let's see. Okay, we're putting it into the canning jar. Okay, smushing it down. Okay. Okay, we're going to let it cool and then we're going to give it a taste. Who's going to
Oh,
taste
that's
it?
candy already?
Yeah, that's it.
Oh, I thought it had to be coated with something or something.
That's it.
Well, interesting.
Okay, we'll let it cool and then we'll taste it. All right, there's the cowboy candy.
Yeehaw!
There's my cowboy. Isn't he cute? Okay, so Mike likes jalapeno stuff. Now, we have never made this before. This is not our recipe. I don't know. Careful.
Shaking in my boots. Can you hear my spurs going jingle, jangle, jingle?
Okay, here we go. What do you think?
It's the hot just came on. It's good. It tastes like okra.
It tastes like
It tastes
okra.
like okra.
Okay, I'm gonna try it now. Oh boy, I'm a little afraid. I like hot stuff, but not super hot. Okay.
Oh, you didn't give yourself a jalapeno.
Oh. That's pretty good.
Do you think this is what she meant?
Yeah. Okay, it's a little warm.
It's good. Oh well, I like the warmth, partner.
Okay, it's pretty good. It is hot, but the yellow peppers that I used are super hot. I have no idea what you use this for, but it is tasty. If you can stop your eyes from watering.
Heat didn't bother me. There's a new sheriff in town. Here, let me try that. Let me try another piece.
Okay, so
I do feel it though all over. It kind of warms you up. Yum. Actually, the yellow ones they taste slightly different, but they're good. So, would you just eat this with a spoon?
I don't know how you eat it. Somebody tell me how you eat it, because I have no idea.
And then 4 different types of homemade jams. I don't buy jelly anymore. I make it from what I grow in my garden.
Okay. Now, here's another thing. Okay. So, homemade jelly. She spends $5.40 for two 32-ounce homemade jellies for $2.70 each. Great Value jelly from Walmart is $2.48. Smucker's is $4.64. Sugar is 60 cents a cup. Pectin is $2.50 for 1 pack that makes 2 32-ounce jellies. She gets her fruit for free. I'm assuming she gets her jars for free, but you usually have to buy your lids for 25 cents each. So here's the thing. You can see right here's the prices, $2.48 for and $4.64. Now, I would say that if she wants to go ahead and make her jelly, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that. But you have to understand that making homemade jelly, if you are buying the fruits, also, like a lot of people will buy a bushel basket of peaches. I totally understand it tastes way better than the store. I'm not going to deny that at all. But if you're looking to save money, it really doesn't save money. If she were to add her time into making the jelly, it would definitely not save money. But she's a stay-at-home mom. She's growing her own fruit. I'm okay with that. But for those of you who email me all the time saying, well, I think I need to be canning my own food to save money. No, canning does not save money, period. I have done the math 1,000 times over, and it does not save money, even if you grow it in your own garden. So it's okay since she's using her stuff, but it's not really worth it if you're having to buy your fruits for people who are wondering if it's worth it to save money on canning.
Well, isn't it kind of like the eggs? If you really want it, it's nice. But if you're having financial struggles, then
it's not worth it.
Wants are not needs.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay, guys, our Labor Day sale is right now. Our Dining on a Dime cookbooks are 35% off. You can get them in the description below. Volume 1 and 2 go together. They're like a set, but they can be used separately. Our gluten-free, dairy-free edition is green, so if you're gluten-free, dairy-free like me. And then also our undated planners are on sale for 10% off, 400 pages, 365 days to help you get organized for the school year. All right, so you can get that link in the description below.
Oh.
And grab our Labor Day sale.
Peanut butter and pasta sauce. And then this has some baking in it.
Girlfriend, I just about had a cow when I saw the chocolate syrup in your cabinet. Here is how you make easy homemade chocolate syrup. 5 ingredients. Yes, it tastes just as good as Hershey's, doesn't it, my dear?
Yeah.
Okay, Dining on a Dime cookbook, page 385. It is also on our website. The link is in the description below. All right, we have 1 cup of water. We have a 1/2 cup cocoa. I couldn't find my 1/2 cup measure, so I'm using a 1/4, and then I didn't get it all. There you go. Okay, and then 2 cups of sugar. Now I keep my sugar in a canister. This is a 1/2 cup measure, so I just know if I need a cup, I do 2. All right, then we've got our salt. Cocoa will clump, so if your cocoa isn't getting incorporated, all it needs is just to be whisked a little bit more vigorously, and then all the clumps are gone. Okay, now what we're going to do is we're going to bring this to a boil, and we're going to boil it for 3 minutes. If you're at eye altitude, add an additional 30 seconds, but this is super easy. Instead of costing $4, I don't know, how much is Hershey syrup now? Is it $4.50 probably?
I don't remember. I haven't bought it in a while.
$4.50 for Hershey syrup. I'll put the picture on there. I don't know how much for sure it is, but instead of being $4.50, this costs around 50 cents. And it tastes just the same. Okay, now, I turned my heat down because I was afraid it might boil over. Now, if you think it's going to boil over, just lift it up off the heat. Okay, let it calm down. Come back again. You're going to boil it for 3 minutes. Don't boil it more than 3 minutes because then it'll turn to sugared candy. But you can also stir it down if you need to. Just watch it.
This is flashbacks to the hot process.
It is to my soap making days. I should have probably used a bigger pan for this, I guess. Woo! Yeah, I should have used a bigger pan. Oops, live and learn. Okay, now we have like 50 seconds left. Okay, 49 seconds by the time Mike got the camera over there. So what I did was I turned off the heat, and I'm just letting the residual heat on the stove finish it. Now, if you have a gas stove, of course you can't do this, but we're all going to have electric in a couple of years anyway, so you might as well learn now. So I just let the residual heat finish cooking it so it doesn't burn or boil over. Okay, now we're done. We're going to take vanilla. Now, this is my homemade vanilla that I did for a video because it makes great Christmas presents. It is not cheaper than just buying the imitation vanilla at Walmart, but I just have it left over, so that's what I'm using. Stir in my vanilla. Pour it into a mason jar, just like so. Oh, oops, oops, oops. Too much. Oh, no, dear. You're going to have to use some...
Give me a straw.
For ice cream. Give me a straw.
Give me a straw.
Okay.
Anybody have an IV?
Anybody have an IV? Okay, we're going to let that cool, and then Mike's going to do a taste test. Okay, so now...
How am I going to taste the chocolate now?
Okay, now we're gonna taste the chocolate. We'll see. Take that for just a second for another recipe. Okay, so you're not sure if you're gonna be able to taste the chocolate after that.
Jalapeno has a big afterbite.
Okay, try it and see. Careful, it's hot.
It's not done yet, though. Doesn't it get thicker as it
Yeah,
sits?
it gets thicker as it sits. It's just still hot, but we gotta get the video done.
Oh, yum! That is delicious. That's better than Hershey's. Actually.
Oh,
You shouldn't have let me rediscover this because
it's delicious.
Condiments and some drinks. I do have yeast back there. I kept buying it for some reason, thinking I didn't have any, and found a whole bunch of it. So I haven't bought any in a while.
Okay, let's talk about the yeast for just a minute here. So if you do that, I have done that many times, bought more yeast than I realized. Just throw it in the freezer and it will be fine. Just throw the extra in the freezer. First of all, you're supposed to keep these containers in the refrigerator as it is. I did not know that until just like 2 months ago when I read the bottle and it says keep in the refrigerator. So keep it refrigerated or frozen. Now, I will tell you that this is $5.48 for a little 4-ounce jar. But you can get these bags of yeast for $12 for 2 pounds. 2 pounds. So that's like 1/8 of the price. And what I do is I just refill the little jars with this and put those bags in the freezer. And I have had bags of yeast for 5 years and they have been perfectly fine. So that is one way you can save, is to buy the bags of yeast instead of the little containers.
I have my manwich, my
Okay, manwich. What is she doing? Buying manwich. Okay.
actually, this is where I was thinking. Wait, he won't eat leftovers, but he'll eat manwich in a can. I mean, I'm not opposed to manwich in a can, except for maybe the price.
Yeah,
But it doesn't seem like it makes sense.
it doesn't make sense. Okay, so homemade sloppy joes cost 25 cents. Brown sugar, 2 cents. Garlic powder, lemon juice, salt, 5 cents for all of it. Worcestershire sauce, 5 cents. Ketchup, $1.28 for 40 tablespoons. So it's about 15 cents for ketchup, for a total of 25 cents to make homemade sloppy joes. Let me show you here how easy it is.
Well, our kids absolutely love them too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I have never, ever bought manwich ever in our entire married life.
Yeah.
Ever.
Yeah.
And so that's why, because it's just so super simple. But let me show you here. This is what I pay for the brown sugar, the ketchup, 5 cents an ounce. And then,
okay, so I've got my hamburger that was frozen right here in my pan. I'm going to put a little water in here to frost it and get my sloppy joes made. Why do I cook my frozen hamburger in the pan? Just so I don't have to dirty another bowl to defrost it in the microwave.
Our Dining on a Dime cookbook. This recipe is in our Dining on a Dime cookbook, which is 35% off right now, guys, for our Labor Day sale. The link is in the description below. Our volume 1 and 2 go together. Volume 1 and our gluten-free edition have the sloppy joe recipe you just saw. So you can grab that now in the description below.
Spam, because my family loves spam. Broth, soup. This is ramen noodles, pasta noodles, and then batteries and whatnot for the kids and whatever we need around the house. That is what I have. The only problem that I really have right now is the amount of leftovers. I have tons of, I normally have tons of leftovers, and when I cook every day, and my husband doesn't like certain leftovers and will not eat them, so I'm the only one that eats them for lunches and whatnot. Even my kids barely eat dinner, but I am trying to save as much money as I can, and not buying meat has been really hard because I love my burger. I just never find it on sale, or when it's on sale, I have no money left over to use. So I am trying to pay off debt and get in a better position, but I don't know when that will be. We're trying hard to get credit cards off of our plate because we figured we are not credit card people. But
Good for you. Now, she has the desire. I think that now she just has to get the tools in place and get the hunting gone and the chickens gone. And I think you will be on a track to getting there. But we're going to talk about that in just a minute more.
Oh, okay.
anything you can suggest to help me out would be great. I've been watching your videos for a while, and I started stockpiling because of you guys, and that has helped my family in more ways than one. I just don't know what I need to do better. If you could let me know, that would be awesome. Thanks again for trying to help me. Bye.
Okay, so first of all, let me just say thank you, Kristine, for putting yourself out there. I
You've been
totally appreciate this. Now, I'm going to run through real quick how much you can save with all of these tips that we've given, and then we're going to have a little bit more that we're going to say about the whole situation here.
Because what she just said, I had a comment, but you want to
Go ahead.
Well, I was thinking about the avoiding the meat, just if I just had to figure out how to afford that. And I was going to say, we noticed a lot of things where you bought like all those potatoes, or a value size where it wasn't really cheaper, or maybe it was 2 cents cheaper, but if you have a bunch of money on a credit card debt, it's not worth buying a massive bulk amount and having all your cash gone.
Yeah.
Because then you're carrying debt on a credit card instead. So it's saving the 2 cents, but you're spending 19% interest. It doesn't work.
Mm-hmm.
So if on things like the potatoes, kind of like what Tara was saying, if you could get them like around Thanksgiving, obviously you've already paid for the ones you got, but at other times, if you could get them like around Thanksgiving and spend less and not buy a giant amount, so that you can manage to meet the meat in there when it's on a sale. And then, sorry, I'm hearing myself in the air too. And then you can, then you would have the money to buy that meat when it's on sale. And then you would have more money in your budget, and then you could buy more potatoes when they're cheap again in the future. So that's kind of the pattern. And
Yeah.
I think you're actually really close to being,
Yeah.
I think there are just a few misunderstandings maybe that you had about some things, or that you didn't know about some things. And I think that you can really take this and get under control. But the credit cards, I think Tara's going to get on that.
We're going to talk about that in just a second. So let me show you how much I saved in a year here. Let me switch back over to the graphics here. Okay, so how much can she save in a year? No peppers, $48 a year. If she buys no mac and cheese, reduces her mac and cheese, it'd be $60 a year. Spam, save 78 cents, or excuse me, $78 a year by buying it only on sale. Cereal, she can save $15 a year by buying it on sale instead of Sam's or Walmart. She didn't say how much hamburger she buys on top of all the other hunting meat, but I'll just give her $50 a year or so on the hamburger because I wasn't sure on that. And then the margarine, she can save $80 a year. On the milk, she can save $72 a year. Lunchables, $200 for one kid. I don't know if she was getting Lunchables for 1 or 2 kids. So $200 for one kid, $400 for 2 kids if she has to do that. Chickens, listen, butcher those babies and have dinner and save yourself $450. Potatoes, she can save $80 a year. Yeast, $15 a year. Manwich, $40 a year. That saves $1,100 a year. If they add in the hunting, that saves $1,200, give or take, because you're still buying meat, for a total of $2,300 a year. Now, she said that her biggest problem was making too much food and having too many leftovers. And so here is what I came up with some ideas, because if your husband is going to insist on going ahead and going hunting this year, then you are going to be only eating your elk or venison or whatever it is that he's getting. That's the meat you're going to be eating. I would not eat anything else. So here are some ideas. You can make Navajo tacos. You can make regular tacos. You can make fajitas. You can make pot pies. You can make beef stroganoff. You can make burgers, sausage, meatballs, meatloaf, stew, roast, chili, stir-fried, cheese steaks, chicken fried steak. You can use venison or elk for all of these dishes. And that way it'll take the gamey flavor out, and you will be able to make these with just your venison. Now, here's the thing. Come back to me. Kristine, okay. Your problem is not groceries.
She actually said what the problem is.
Your problem isn't groceries.
There are ways you could save, but that's not the big thing.
You can cut on your groceries and save some. But the fact of the matter is, if you're going to pay off $35,000 of debt, you are not going to be able to do it on $37,000 a year. And saving $40 a year on manwich mix, it will help, but it's going to take you years to pay it off. And I mean years. Let me see if I put the chart up here. Let's see, go back to my chart. I can't remember if I put the chart on here because I'm getting tired now. But did I put it on here? Maybe I didn't. Where? Let's see. Your husband is going to have to get a better paying job. I mean, he's just going to have to, if you want to get your debt paid off. And so you are doing excellent. You're really doing really, really well. You really are. I mean, you can cut on a few things like the milk and the chickens and the manwich and the peppers, but quite frankly, you are doing excellent on your grocery bill on just the normal stuff you're buying. It's the chickens and the elk that are destroying your grocery bill. All
and
your
the
other
cards
and the credit cards. Yeah, putting all of that on the credit cards. That is what's destroying your budget. And so your husband has to start making more money. I mean, we live in Wyoming. Go work in the oil fields or something. They make a whole lot more money in the oil fields here. I know that that's kind of iffy now with everything going on in the government, but he's going to have to bring in more money. He's just going to have to bring in more money. Or you're going to have to work in the evenings and while he watches the kids or something, which I really hate to see you do. Being a stay-at-home mom, you are gardening, you're taking care of the kids, and you are doing a full-time job also. So I don't think it's really right for you to be going and working extra hours either. He just needs to earn more money.
Well, honestly, I appreciate that he's probably had the job for a long time, but I worked a job for a long time at a grocery store, and I finally realized, wait, this is before we got married, but I realized after 8 years of that job, this job is never going to pay enough for me to support a family. So I just had to flush the 8 years that I worked there and do something else.
Yeah. And
in Wyoming right now, and I mean, we're in Sheridan, and there are a lot of basically starter jobs that like convenience stores and car washes and things like that pay almost that same amount of money here.
Yeah.
So I think, especially with the experience he's had, he probably could.
He sounds like he's a handy fellow.
Yeah, he could probably make a lot more money in Casper doing something else, and I think that would be a really good idea.
Yeah.
And some of the things because some people were saying, oh, men got to hunt. Well, it's true, men have to hunt, but only if men can pay for hunting.
Yeah.
And
And if you don't have an emergency fund and everything's going on the credit card, you can't pay for hunting.
I mean, there were a lot of things I liked to do when I met Tara, and I had some debt, and we got married, and right away she said, all those things are off the table. And I wasn't real happy about it, but I knew she was right. And I knew that it was going to work, and I needed to respect her.
Can we say that again?
And realize that if we stayed in debt forever because of the things I was paying on, it's not like you couldn't do, it's not like you can't do those things forever. But what I would say is it could be definitely a big reward if he manages to suddenly make more money. Hey, well, now you don't have to be as tight on that.
Yes. And thank you for not being a dork about it. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
You weren't happy, but you weren't throwing a tantrum either.
But when I was single, I realized already the magnitude of the problem I got into, and it wasn't really that big of a problem. But at the time, based on the amount of money I made, it was huge. And I think that making more money is really helpful at this point. But the other thing is that anything like with the hunting or the chickens, if you do the math and you realize, wow, it costs more than just buying it at the store, but we like doing it, but it's at the situation where you can't really afford to just do it because you like it over those things. And because then if you don't have enough money, like for say the meat that you saw that was on sale, but you couldn't get it because you didn't have the money. But if you don't have the money because of the hunting or the chickens or some other thing like that, then if those things go, then you will have the money.
Yeah.
The other thing for the credit card is that if you should never put any more money on those. You should stop today.
Don't buy anything on the credit card. Nothing.
With us with the credit cards, we had them. We were thinking, okay, we'll only use them for emergencies. And guess what? Emergencies come up all the time. We realized, holy moly, there's no way we're going to get away from these emergencies. And then there was a point where we put stuff on a credit card because our daughter was in the hospital. And later on, we realized we just had to come to a point of saying there are no emergencies big enough to put $1 on the credit card.
We are not doing it anymore.
Because when you use a credit card at 19% interest, you're saying basically, I can't afford $100 for this. So I'm going to choose to pay $119 instead because I can't afford $100.
Okay, what should she do for leftovers and making too much food? So what I would do is make less food, and he's just going to have to suck it up. Now, you could make some oatmeal cookies or something like that to have for dessert, but if he's not going to eat leftovers, you're going to just start making less food and estimate. I mean, just start each time you make more. The next time, just make less. But he cannot complain that there's not enough food on the table if he's not going to eat the leftovers when you make more than enough. Okay. Just ain't going to happen. I mean, if that was Mike in that situation, what I would say is, okay, well, here's some oatmeal cookies if you'd like to have some of those, but I'm not cooking anymore. I'm tired of throwing away and wasting food. We have credit card debt up the wazoo. We cannot do this. Now, if you want to take on some side hustles like buying furniture at garage sales and refinishing it or painting it or something and turning it around and selling it on upcycle, okay, you could do something like that or take in a little bit of babysitting or something. But really, it boils down to he is just going to have to make more money. And it's not your responsibility either to be killing yourself on groceries and trying to save more on groceries when he's going out and spending $12,000 over the span of 40 years paying off a $1,400 hunting trip at 19% interest. I mean, that's not reasonable for you to do that. So,
well, the thing with leftovers is it sounds like you're the only one that eats the leftovers. And if that's true, that probably means a lot of leftovers get thrown away. And if food gets thrown away, then that's basically you're paying more for the food that you actually ate because the food that went in the trash is a negative, which means if you buy $100 worth of groceries and you throw $25 away, that kind of means that the part that you ate is 30% more expensive than you thought. Because it's going in the trash. And I do know a lot of women, well, Tara has done this, but mostly our kids are pretty good about it now. But you just build those leftovers into something else.
Yeah.
That's maybe
the next meal.
Yeah. Maybe even plan that ahead.
All right. So for Kristine, I made this ebook just for you, Kristine. And we are offering it free right now. 10 beef recipes to save money. Now, Kristine can use all of these recipes with her venison or her elk or moose, whatever hunting meat her husband gets. So we are offering this for free to everyone, only for 24 hours. It expires September 5th at 11:59 p.m. And we're going to turn that off at 11:59 p.m. on September 5th. So 24 hours, guys. This is only available. The link is in the description below. Kristine is also going to get a free $100 gift card, or gift link. How do I say that? Gift card, I guess, an e-gift card from us for her to spend $100 in our store if she would like to buy any of our products, our cookbooks, our How to Save on Grocery e-course, any of those, and they're on sale right now. So I'm going to be sending that to you tomorrow, Kristine. And if you guys have any questions, we'll take them real quick right now. I know this was a super long show. Thank you, guys. What did you think of the new format? We're going to have to make a few changes here. We realized we messed up on several things, but this is the first one we've done. And after we got in the flow, I feel good. I felt good about it. How did you feel?
I did feel good.
How'd you feel?
Except there are a couple of things I still want to say, but I did feel good about it. I was just going to say, I know it's a little thing, but I was looking, the things that I noticed that are little things though in groceries are paying attention to the price per ounce or pound or whatever is really important, because companies put family size on there or value pack in order to fool you.
And you guys saw the macaroni and cheese wasn't a value.
And the macaroni and cheese, what I was going to say on that is, I heard you say, I get this brand sometimes when this brand is out. So you buy the more expensive brand when the cheap Walmart brand is out. But that's a huge mistake, because I know it's only macaroni. But the thing is, every little bit counts. And what we've realized is, and I used to work at a grocery store and I saw this too. If you go on Sunday when everybody is just pounding this grocery store and like taking everything out of there, there won't be anything on the shelves. And so what you need to do is figure out, how can I go at a time when everybody else isn't there, like Tuesday morning at 9, because those times there's stuff on the shelves and you will be able to get the cheap macaroni that your kids love anyway, instead of spending it on the more expensive macaroni because the other one is out. Yeah. So that's what, and the other thing I would say on the credit cards, I really, really have to say, I was looking at the credit cards.
The problem is, she said my biggest problem is the leftovers. That's not her biggest problem. That's not even close to being her biggest problem. So,
well, I was looking at the credit cards, and Tara and I were both looking at kind of how much the minimum payment would be on those credit cards. And did we talk about the credit card balance?
Well, a little bit. We didn't talk about it, but we sat and figured, and she told us the minimum payments they're making and all this, and it's going to take them 46 years to pay it off.
But when we were looking at it, we realized the amount of the payments that you're making is never going to pay it off, ever. And this is the revelation that I had before I met Tara with the debt that I had on my credit cards. Is I was kind of at that same point with what I had, where I realized, wait, I'm now spending, like for you, $6,000 a year on the credit cards as those minimum payments. That's going to nothing. And that's what I realized when I was doing credit cards. I realized, wait, because what happened is I got maxed when I was a college student, and I was like, what? And then I was resentful because I thought, I have to pay all this money on credit cards for things that I don't even have anymore, or that I ate or whatever. And I would just say, if you can kind of get that in your mind, like, wow, $6,000 a year just goes away from our budget, and then kind of get a little angry at it. I mean, and that'll motivate you to, and not angry at somebody else, but just to say, wow, we really messed up when we did this. So now I'm a little angry at it. What can we do to really knock this out? And it is true. I think that the best solution is your husband to make more money. And it needs to happen. But we also kind of looked for every possible way to knock out everything. So
sell anything you can. If you like, I've noticed that a particular product that I'm not going to name, because there's people that watch me from my town and they'll do the same thing. But there's a particular product that I keep seeing on Upcycle and at the thrift stores that if I rebuy it and sell it on Upcycle, I can make 100% to 200% profit. I can make $100 for literally 5 minutes worth of work. And I'm like, ooh, I'm watching for that product because I know it's really popular here. So when someone else is selling one for super cheap, I just turn around and resell it.
Well, and a long time ago when we lived in Kansas, you saw the sewing machines.
Yeah.
She finds sewing machines for some price, and she realized that other people would pay her a lot more for them. And we did that a little bit to try to kind of, I mean, it wasn't her responsibility necessarily because my income was also low. But those kinds of things, any way we could figure out to knock something out, we would knock it out. Because let's say you get to where you knock a little bit of that credit card debt off, but then you still pay the same amount or more as what you're already paying. And then some of that money, because right now, if you pay the minimum payment, it's basically the balance isn't going down at all. But let's say you get the minimum payment to be $100 less than you're paying and you still pay it, the extra $100 at least will be taking off the balance as you go. Now, you kind of need it to be more than that, but every little bit helps. And at first it's real hard to get started. But then once you get rolling, it starts to really go and you feel much better about it as you go. Yeah. So it's totally, I mean, I totally feel you on the situation because I've had that revelation.
We've been there. Now, if you guys would like to have us do a grocery audit for you also, please fill out an application and we will send you instructions on how to send us your information after we look at your application and see if it will work. So far, every person who's signed up, we have, except for one person, we have accepted them. And so I'm just waiting on grocery receipts and videos or photos. You can do photos. If you can't do videos, photos are fine. If you can't do a video, photos are fine. People like videos because they like to feel they know the person. But if you can't do a video, like on Wednesday's show with Mom, we're doing another one, and the lady's having some medical issues, so she didn't want to be on camera. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. So just send. I will give you instructions on how to send us those pictures and everything. But please, if you would like to go be audited for your groceries, also. This is the format we're doing, guys. This is all we are going to be doing at least through December, because I think it's a great format to show people how to combine it all together, how it all works together, how buying the ads and using the recipes and cutting back on things and showing how it affects your credit cards. I think this is what people really desperately need right now. They can't see the big picture and they're frustrated and they're tired and they're broke and they're tired and they're worn out and they're tired. And we want to take that stress off of you so that you can start having a little bit of breathing room. It's just really hard when we were right there. We were making $22,000 a year and we had $20,000 worth of credit cards with 2 kids. We have been there. That's why I feel so bad for Kristine, because we have totally been there. So I totally understand it.
But the interesting thing is, if we had in that position, if we just kind of kept doing that, I mean, if we just kind of went along in the status quo, we would still be there. But the thing is, if you think, okay, we got to knock this out, I'm a little upset at this. This is something we really have to really get serious about it. Then if you can get that gone, you would be shocked if you did not have to pay that $6,000 to the credit cards, how much more that would add to your comfort in the world and the ability to just kind of not stress so much. And so that's why we really push for that. But if you do kind of get super serious about it, you can do this. All
right, guys, please go check out our Labor Day sale right now. 35% off all of our print books and 10% off of our undated planners right here. You can start right now and not lose any pages. 365 days, 400 pages. And then our cookbooks, guys, are 35% off right now. And guys, paper is going up. So we don't know how long these prices are going to be this price. So there is a such thing as inflation now. I know all last year I said there's no inflation. There's no inflation. It is hit now. We are seeing it now all over the place. Some groceries have gone up 100%. That is considered hyperinflation. So we totally get it. Guys, we are going to be doing Pam's groceries on Wednesday's show with Mom. And we have some great tips lined up for her. Please visit us at livingonadime.com. Give us a thumbs up and subscribe, please. And we will see you guys next time. Oops. Do I hit it or you hit it?
I wasn't sure if I was. Bye.